Alright, I have you guys here. We're gonna get started today. We have a couple things that we're gonna do today. We're going to stretch out some words. These aren't part of the win-win-win story. These are words that use 3 specific sounds. And then I'm going to read a really wonderful story that I love a lot. It's a really cool story. It has the most beautiful pictures. And then I'll give you guys a topic to write about. Okay? So what we're going to do first is we're going to start by stretching out some words that have one of these 3 sounds in them. They either have SH, CH, or TH, or so it's going to have one of those sounds in them. Okay? So I'll write the word up here, and then we're going to figure out which of these 3 sounds we're going to put. This way you can hold up a finger and tell me which sound it has in it. 1, 2, or 3. Okay? So let's see. Our first word, I'm going to only write a couple of these, and then we'll just do them just by ear for the ones after that. All right, let's look at this one. Which sound does this word have? 1, 2, or 3? What chunk do you see in there? Sound 1, sound 2, or sound 3? Show me with your fingers. What do you see? Do you see SH, CH, or TH? What do you see? Yeah, I see CH. So when I do this, I do ch, est, chest, chest. So this says chest. That's the first sound that I hear. Okay. What about this word? Does this sound have sound 1, 2, or 3 in it? Sound 1, it has SH. Ed, shed, shed. Okay, now let's try one more where we can see the word. Does this have sound 1, 2, or 3 in it? Sound 3, it has TH. Well, this TH is the sound. At, that, that. Okay, I'm going to keep this here, and then I'm going to say a word, and you guys are going to show me what sound you think it has in it. Okay? All right, let's see. The first word is chip. Chip. 1, 2, or 3. What do you think? Show me with your fingers. Chip. Chip. Yeah, number 2. Let's stretch that word out. Ready? Ch. Ip. Chip. It has ch at the beginning. Sound number 2. Okay, let's think of our next word. Our next word is chess. Chess. Like I'm playing a game of chess. Chess. What do you hear? It's at the beginning. Chess. Yeah, sound number 2. Chess. Let's stretch out that word. S. Chess. Okay? All right. Our next word is thumb. Thumb. What sound do you hear at the beginning? Thumb. Thumb. Look at my mouth. Thumb. Sound number 3. Let's stretch it. Ready? Thumb. All right. My next word is shelf. Shelf. What do you hear at the beginning? 1, 2, or 3? Shelf. Number 1. Let's stretch the word. Elf. shelf. Okay, we have 2 more words. What about the word this? This. This. Think about it. Do you hear sh, ch, or th? This. Sound number 3, th, because th can either go th or this. Let's stretch out the word this. This. All right, one more. This word is shock. Shock. What sound do you hear? 1, 2, or 3? Shock. Sound 1. Sh, sh, sh. Let's stretch that word. Sh, ah, shock. All right, now I have a couple that have the sound at the end of the word, so I want us just to listen. Maybe we can hear the sound at the end of the word. I'm going to stretch out the word, and you're going to tell me what sound you hear at the end. Okay, those were all sounds at the beginning. Now we're going to see if we hear it at the end. Okay, so the first word is d, I, sh. D, I, sh. What sound do you hear at the end? Sound number 1. And the whole word is, if you stretch it out, we can put it together. D, I, sh. Dish. All right, let's do one more, because I like this word. Peach. P, each. P, each. Ch, ch. What do you hear at the end? 1, 2, or 3? Ch, 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 ch. Like chicken. Ch, ch, ch. Peach. Ready? P, each. Peach. Awesome. So these were just some of the sounds I wanted us to go over. We're going to learn some new sounds next week. Okay, we'll go over words in our story tomorrow, but we're going to learn some new sounds next week. Okay? Alrighty. I got to mark off what I did and didn't do. Okay. Alright, so today I'm going to read a story. This is called The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush by Tomie DePaola. Now, this is a really cool story. Alright? It has so many beautiful colors, and since we're talking about Earth Day, this has to do with things that we might see on the earth. So JC, you have to sit still if you're going to pay attention to the story. Okay? So this is The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush. We're going to write about the story at the end. We're going to talk about what we see on the earth in the pictures while Miss Hobbs reads. The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush. So like if you can see here, I don't see a lot of plants, but I see some beautiful sky. I see some teepees. Here we go. Many years ago, when the people traveled the plains and lived in a circle of teepees, there was a boy who was smaller than the rest of the tribe. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't keep up with the other boys, who were always riding, running, shooting their bows, and wrestling to prove their strength. Sometimes his mom and dad worried about him. So I don't see a lot of things out there on the earth. I see one painted tree with no leaves on it. But the boy who was called Little Gopher was not without a gift of his own. From an early age, he made toy warriors from scraps of leather and pieces of wood. He loved to decorate smooth stones with red juices from berries he found in the hills. The wise shaman of the tribe understood that Little Gopher had a gift that was special. Do not struggle, Little Gopher. Your path will be the same as the others. Will not be the same as the others. They will grow up to be warriors. Your place among the people will be remembered for a different reason. What do you see in this picture? Raise your hand if you want to tell me something you see in this picture. JJ.
I see a painted rock.
Painted rocks. What else do we see? What else do we see? Sarah?
Miniature warriors.
Little miniature warriors. It looks like he made toys kind of thing. Do we see anything else? Little miniature warriors and toys. How is he painting the rocks? Look at this. How is he painting the rocks? What do you think, Tavin? Look at the bowl. You see he has a rock in his hand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he made paint out of like taking like fruit. What's a red fruit I can paint with? If I squish it up and got red juice all over my hands, what's a fruit I could do that with? Liam, what's a red fruit I can use? Huh? Liam, I'll come back to you. Okay, what's a red fruit I can use? What's something that gives me red juice, red fruit? Let me see. Uliana.
Strawberry.
Strawberries. Maybe little Gopher found some strawberries, squished them up in his bowl, and then is painting rocks with them. Because they didn't have paint, they had to use what the earth gave them to make their stuff. And in a few years, when little Gopher was older, he went out to the hills alone to think about becoming a man, for this was the custom of his tribe. And it was there that a dream vision came to him. The sky filled with clouds, and out of them came a young Indian lady and an old grandfather. She carried a rolled-up animal skin, and he carried a brush made of animal hairs and pots of paint. So he went out. I don't see much on the earth. You know, it's still brown grass. I see people coming to him in a vision in the clouds. The grandfather spoke. "My son, these are the tools by which you will become great among your people. You will paint pictures of deeds of the warriors and visions of the shaman, and the people shall see them and remember them forever." The maiden unrolled a pure white buckskin and placed it on the ground. "Find a buckskin as white as this," she told him. "Keep it, and one day you will paint a picture that is pure as the colors of the sky in the evening." So he made brushes out of like hair. So they used animal hair and they attached them to like sticks to make brushes. All stuff from the earth. And as she finished speaking, the clouds cleared and a sunset of great beauty filled the sky. Little Gopher looked at the white buckskin and on it he saw colors as bright and beautiful as those made by the setting sun. So look how beautiful the sky is. Little Gopher needs to be able to paint a picture as beautiful as this. All the colors, it looks like almost all the rainbow colors are there. It's lots of color compared to the brown grass. The sun slowly sank behind the hills and the sky grew dark. The dream vision was over. Little Gopher returned to the circle of the people. So, not a lot of stuff out there on the land. There he is, returning home. The next day he began to make soft brushes from the hairs of different animals, and stiff brushes from the hair of horses' tails. He gathered berries and flowers and rocks of different colors, and crushed them up to make his paints. He collected the skins of animals, which the warriors brought home from their hunts. He stretched the skins on wooden frames and pulled them until they were tight. So what's something that he's making into paint? There were 3 things that he collected to make into paint. What's something he collected? Let's listen. He gathered berries and flowers and rocks of different colors and crushed them to make his paints. What's something he went to collect to go make paint? What did he collect? Naoki.
I was judging,
That's okay. Well, what do you think?
but he bought some rocks.
He found some rocks of different colors. There's 2 other things he found. What else did he find that he crushed up? Let's see. Arturo.
Berries.
Berries. So rocks, berries, and what else is something colorful that he found on the ground? Let me see. Tevin.
Flowers.
Flowers. So those are all things that we can find that are colorful that the earth made. And he began to paint pictures of great hunts. So he's painting the stories of what's happening in his tribe. Of great deeds, of great visions, so that the people will always remember. So he's basically like a storyteller. He's drawing all the pictures down so people can remember what they did. But even as he painted, little Gopher sometimes longed to put aside the brushes and ride out with the warriors. But he remembered his dream vision, and he did not go with them. So it wasn't his job. Everyone has a different job. Look, here's all of his colored paints. And there go the warriors, but he's staying home to paint because that's his job. Many months ago, he had found the pure white buckskin, but it remained empty because he could not find the colors of the sunset. He used the brightest flowers and the reddest berries and the deepest purples from rocks, and still his paintings never satisfied him. They looked dull and dark. So he couldn't find the right paint to put on his final masterpiece. He'd been searching and searching for these bright colors. So far, the earth hadn't found them yet. He began to go to the top of the hill each evening and look at the colors that filled the sky, to try and understand how to make them. He longed to share the beauty of his dream vision with the people. Look how beautiful that sky is. How is he gonna paint it? But he never gave up trying. And every morning when he woke up, he took out his brushes and pots of paints and created the stories of the people with the tools that he had. So he's all grown up now. One night as he lay awake, he heard a voice call to him, "Because you have been faithful to the people and true to your gift, you shall find the colors you are seeking. Tomorrow, take the white buckskin and go to the place where you watch the sun in the evening. There on the ground, you will find what you need." So he had a dream. He needs to go back to that place. The next evening, when the sun began to go down, little Gopher put his brushes and went to the top of the hill, as the colors of the sunset spread across the sky. And there on the ground around him were brushes filled with paint. Little Gopher began to paint quickly and surely, using one brush and then another. He got there and there were paintbrushes already in the ground with those colors in them. They appeared like magic. Look at that. As the colors began to fade, little Gopher gazed at the white buckskin and was happy. He had found the colors of the sunset. He went back to the town, leaving the brushes on the hillside. So you see his beautiful painting, and he's leaving all the magic brushes that appeared for him. He's just leaving them there. Look at the ground. There's nothing on the ground beside those brushes. And the next day, when the people awoke, the hills were ablaze with color, for the brushes had taken root and multiplied into flowers of brilliant reds, oranges, and yellows. And every spring from that time, the hills and meadows burst into blooms. Look, the paintbrushes turned into flowers. So now the earth has beautiful colored flowers on it that are the colors of the sunset. Every spring, the people danced and sang the praises of little Gopher who had painted for the people. And the people no longer called him Little Gopher. They called him He Who Brought the Sunset to the Earth. So look, the grass is green now, and there's colorful flowers. The ground's not brown anymore. He brought color to the land. That's the end of our story. So if you looked at the beginning of the story, before little Gopher was able to paint it, if you looked at the ground, see how brown it is? no flowers and it's brown. The earth's not very colorful. But after the magic paintbrushes appeared and he painted a beautiful sunset, now the earth has lots of color on it. This is a really cool story about colors. So what I want you to think about, because these were flowers. They turned into flowers. Beautiful colors. What I want you to think about and what you're going to write about is if you could make the prettiest, flower, what would it look like? If you could make the prettiest flower, what would it look like? So if you're writing about that, before you draw the picture, you could tell me what colors it is. And say, my flower will be, and then tell me, it could be more than one. You can, whatever color you think is the prettiest. How tall is it? Is it a big flower? Is it tall and big? Or is it teeny tiny small? And then what does your flower smell like? Like maybe Miss Hobbs's prettiest flower is red and white striped and it's kind of short and it smells like candy canes. Maybe that could be a flower. Or maybe your flower smells like cookies. Or your flower smells like pizza. All right? What does the prettiest flower look like? What does it smell like? Tell me about the colors and how tall it is. So that's what you're going to write about today. Okay? I know that story was kind of long, so you don't have to do the writing here while we're on the video. But just remember, okay? You're going to write a couple sentences about if you could make the prettiest flower, what would it look like? What would it smell like? Okay? So tell me what would it look like and what would it smell like? The colors and how tall. So that's what you're going to write about, and then you can draw and color a picture. Okay? There's no wrong answer because this is going to be a brand new flower. Okay? That we can add to the earth to make it beautiful and make the earth more beautiful and smell better. Yeah? Awesome. So I'm going to unmute you guys so that we can say